Well, hello. I'll just wait a minute for Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Jackie.
How are you? Hey, we matched tonight.
I got dressed just for you.
Oh,
I didn't know I was going to be live. I should have done my hair.
thank you. I'm so glad we're both in blue. It's my favorite color these days, as you can tell by my swoosh. Anyways, good evening, everyone. It's Jackie Clayton here. It probably won't be evening when you see this. It'll be the morning, but I really appreciate Cheryl Weaver jumping on with me here tonight. And just to talk about volunteering and what it means to our community. I saw a really cute saying as I was doing a little background for today, that volunteers do not necessarily have the time, they just have the heart. And I think that that really sums it up for Cheryl, in my opinion. I know that we connect through a lot of things, but one of the things that we connect through is that we're both Clemmy Collins winners from the chamber. And Cheryl, I don't know if you have yours, but I pulled mine out, and it's like,
I have mine too. Oh,
there we go. Let's see. Mine's a super old one. Is yours like this, or is yours the nice glass one?
mine's a glass one.
Yeah, so mine's the really old one. But I was the Clemmy Collins for the Chamber of Commerce Clemmy Collins Award winner in 2008. And what year did you win, Cheryl?
2014.
Okay, so a few years after. And I know you've won various volunteer awards because you're truly just a passionate, engaged volunteer in our community. Tell me a bit about some of the other awards you've won.
Well, I won the only award that they give to a non-builder in the Home Builders Association. It's called a Maple Leaf Award, and I won that. And I won the Award of Honor from the Home Builders in Grand Prairie.
Oh, wow.
Volunteer of the Year in 2011. And 2019, I won another Outstanding Volunteer Award through the city in 2019. I think that's all.
Oh, that's not all. That's amazing. You know, Cheryl, just let's talk about volunteering and what you feel it means to our community. I know you've worked with numerous organizations from the EMS wine fair, as well as, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what comes to mind: Big Brothers Big Sisters, obviously, as you mentioned, Home Builders Association, Chamber for various events and things for the Chamber. Tell me some of the other organizations that you've helped out in our community over the years.
I worked with the United Way. I worked with Bud Country. Ever since it started, I was part of the management team.
Yeah.
What else have I done? Well, the Chamber, Big Brothers, EMS. Yeah. I'm still with EMS.
Okay.
Can't think of anything else. There might be a few more in there somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure there is over time. I can tell you from the moment that I moved to Grand Prairie, it's really a community, in my opinion, that engages you. You meet a couple people, and for me, it was meeting Gail Hackstead originally, and she was working with the either the Cars for Christmas or the Dream Home. I can't remember which one at the time, but I was doing the marketing at the Prairie Mall, and she said, "Why don't you come to this event?" And so it just sort of, I met some great people that, you know, as in most communities, it seems that the same 10 people do everything, right? You go to one room and you meet the same 10 people, and you see those people in different circles. But what I really loved about Grand Prairie is those 10 people seem to bring in another 10 people, and the network of volunteering in our community is significant. I've always thought if there was a way to measure Grand Prairie's givingness, in my opinion, Grand Prairie per capita is probably the most giving community in Canada, whether it's of your time or of your money. You know, you and I and many people go to events, and we'll go to a small event and they'll raise a few $100,000 in a matter of an hour and a half. And you go to, you see these people give tirelessly in the evenings and weekends when they have full-time jobs. And if there was a way for us to measure it, I think that Grand Prairie is probably the most givingest city that I know I've ever lived in, but probably across Canada.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. And so tell me a bit, I know you and I probably met originally through volunteering, but tell me some of the things that make you feel good about volunteering.
Well, for me, it's a way to give back to this great community. Grand Prairie's been really good to me, and I don't have a lot of money to give, but I can give of my time, and it's just a lot of not-for-profits cannot afford to pay staff, so they depend on volunteers, and that's what I like to do.
And you know, you bring up a good point. Another thing I read is that one of the greatest gifts you can give is your time. And so giving your time to an organization, I strongly encourage, if you're new to our city, if you meet somebody and you hear that they're volunteering, or if you see an organization that's putting on an event, reach out to them. All of our community committees and organizations across the Peace Country are always looking for more help. They're a great way to meet people, a great way to connect in your community, and a great way to win awards if you're hardworking, as Cheryl is.
Yeah.
And for me, volunteering, starting at the chamber, I've mentioned before, was sort of the path that got me even more involved in my community. I started volunteering in early years when we moved to Grand Prairie, and quickly moved into the chamber. I love the Chamber of Commerce, what it does and advocates and lobbies for business, but it turned into working with the Festival of Trees for me, and the Board of Governors, and Communities in Bloom, and I'm trying to think of other ones. Oh, I also volunteered, sat as the director for the Arctic Winter Games, as the director of culture and ceremonies. And so, there's been so many things in my 20+ years here that I've had a chance to work on. But the biggest part about it is the connections and the people and the relationships and the funny stories that come out of it. And so, I really thank you for your time tonight, Cheryl. I didn't want to keep you too long, but I really believe that there's another saying that volunteers are not paid because they're worthless. They're not paid because they are priceless. So,
Thank you. Yes, I agree.
And
I
you're
also
definitely
forgot
one
I
of the
do
priceless ones.
I forgot I do volunteer for the Festival of Trees too. I forgot that.
Of course you do. Okay, well, thanks so much, Cheryl. And I know
Oh,
on
thank you,
behalf of
Jackie.
Cheryl and myself, we just encourage you to get involved in your community, whatever your passion is, whether it's sports or culture or arts, whether it's giving to nonprofits that need help, whether it's an organization such as PARDS or EMS. Put your hand up. You'll really meet some great community people, and you'll really start to create some great relationships.
I agree, Jackie. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Cheryl. Have a good evening.
You
Bye.
too. Bye.